today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to do 100 QI damage in a Rise crossover. But before we go do that, would you guys like to have a chance to win a free Game Pass? All you need to do is drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment your Roblox username down below. I can win multiple Game Passes every week. Anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get on with the video. So it's been multiple days since the game's most recent update, so I've spent that time learning, improving, and grinding the game to make a video to show you guys how to get to 100 QI damage, as it actually is now possible. And I know I've made mistakes before where I've got numbers of cash and damage confused, but in today's video I'm actually going to show you guys the methods you can do to go ahead and get to 100 QI damage. And hey, even if you don't manage to get that high, you'd still improve your DPS by a massive amount. And now the first thing I'm going to start off with is the most obvious way to increase your damage, and that is going ahead and making your way over to the weapon shop and buying the charged blade. The charged blade does the most damage currently out of any weapon in the game. That can be obtained from the shop. There is a way you can get better weapons from doing the SS dungeons and getting the SS drop, or just getting the rare drops of a struggle weapon in the new Dragon Ball area. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to recommend you try and go ahead and get the charged blade. This is going to do a crazy amount of damage. So if we go away over to inventory and we scroll down, as you just saw, a normal charged blade, it does a lot of damage there. But you can go ahead and actually merge this up all the way over at Leveling City and get some traits on it. I'll go show you guys how to do that right now. You most likely know how to do this, but this is one of the most very important steps in your high DPS in the game. And do not worry, this video is more than saying get this weapon, get some good enchants. There is so many different ways to go ahead and level up and get stronger weapons in the game right now. So if I do miss any, tell me down below in the comment section, but I think I've got the main ones, and I think I even have every single one of them, which I may regret saying that, covered in this video. But if we make our way over to the area just down here, of course, which is Leveling City, ever since the logo's changed a bit, it hurt my brain a bit. You have spawned in Leveling City, and like I said, most of you will understand how the upgrade and the enchanting machine work, but just in case, and for those who don't, if you go to the spawn of the area, and it spawns with a portal there, you can make your way over to this machine here, where you can enchant your weapons. You want to buy as many of that weapon as possible, so the charged blade and the lowest rarity, which would be E rank, and then you can merge them up. Of course, I've already went ahead and pre-merged mine, so what you will need to do is you'll need to merge your ones up, which actually I think if I use this one, and wait, we go to upgrader and we use my enchanted one, I'm actually going to show you guys an example of me merging. So we use our D rank with another D rank with another D rank, and then we'd spend some gems to merge this up, and then we can do the exact same with the C ranks, and you want to see how much the damage already is scaling. The fact that we're already doing 186 QA damage at C rank, that has now went up to become a B rank, where it will do 398 QA damage, which then, when we take it to the next rank, it is 672. But we could go ahead and make this a lot higher by rolling some good enchants on it, of course. So let's actually find a weapon that we put enchants on. I do a better version of this, which is S rank, and actually the SS one is the best one to go for, of course. But if we go ahead and roll an enchant on this, we got Sharpness 8 straight away, which now this weapon, all the way at A rank, does 6.59 QI damage, which is already a good chunk of the way to your damage you need. But honestly, I know in this video I said to get to 100 QI. Was I clickbaiting? No, because there is a bunch of other ways now to go and increase your damage, and this also involves shadows, weirdly, because shadows actually do damage now. Now, the numbers my shadows have, they may look cool to some people, but the people who play this game a lot understand that this is not impressive, and you can get, yes, you a lot higher than this with shadow damage. So one of the first big things that influences your shadow damage is being a good guild that has a good shadow boost on. These are things that will help out as well, but the main thing to get, of course, the higher DPS is having good at shadow damage. And a lot of people don't know, you'll actually do more damage than the DPS of your damage of your shadows. You do more DPS than the damage of your shadows, as they have ults and they have other things. So if we go ahead and show off Weasel there, don't ask why I've got the names confused. I know that hurts my brain at sometimes as well. So we have it at G rank, and it shows how much damage the ultimate goes ahead and does. So my current boosters, we're doing 148 QA normally, and it does nearly 2. Normally, it will be able to reach nearly 2 QI, but if we get a better shadow, such as an M rank Monarch, which is a very, very rare drop to go ahead and get in a double dungeon, an S rank, the SS rank double dungeon, it's a very rare drop to obtain. That can do all the way up to 10.67 QI. With my current boost on it, this can get like genuinely insanely strong, but there is even more ways to buff your damage up a ton. So having a good guild will give you a good boost. boost. Also, my guild in no way is like crazy good or anything. There's a link to join in the description if you do want to apply. But honestly, you don't need to join my one. There's so many better ones out there that give you so much more damage than what I'm doing right now. But hey, it's definitely worth making sure you're in a good guild. That'll help you out. You then can also use some other things to boost your damage, such as potions that can use some extra shadow damage in there, which can boost your shadow damage up. Then you can also now use relics. Now, I don't really have any relics that boost my weapon damage, but I do have some that increase the damage of my shadows. And what this does is it increases my max shadow level by 11.38. Where does the 38 come from? I don't know. But it actually means all my shadows, instead of being able to go ahead and reach normally 310, they reach 311, which how scaling works this game is kind of crazy. So you'll be doing a lot more extra damage purely because of this right here. And this is, again, one of very few ways to increase your damage that you're doing. And we'll actually go ahead and go back to the basics for a bit. If you don't know, the auto-clicker in the game is relatively fast. But if you do have the auto-clicker game pass, it's actually faster than when you normally click. That's how the game works there. You have to get really fast hits in there. Skins do not matter. Skins are purely cosmetic. But we go ahead and I do a lot more damage. We do like this. So to get a few hits off there. But something else you can also do is your player rank. I made so many separate videos on that, so I'm not going to too much in this video, but your player rank, again, it'll be at a leveling city. I'm not going to bother going back over there and showing it to you guys, just as for like something a lot of people know about now, and I may make a separate video at some point showing you guys the best way to get your player rank up, as that is a whole entire separate thing by itself. But getting a high player rank will also give you a massive boost on your shadow levels, your damage, and yeah, it's a lot of different things. Then the next one, and probably one of the biggest things that people are sleeping on, I myself are kind of sleeping on a bit, is getting your shadow level up, or your character level up, as this will go ahead and take your damage to the next level by a turn. I'm currently level 2, and that's a terribly low level. I haven't actually grinded any dungeons really since the update dropped in my video I made on the whole update. So you can go ahead and get do dungeons, and I'd recommend doing, of course, the higher ranked dungeons, and this will be in any area, and they will give you XP, which will give you points, and you can use these points to go ahead and level up your stats. And now these points get kind of crazy very fast, because if we look at this right now, every time we get the shadow power up, that means our shadows are doing an extra 5% damage, which is crazy. You then, the other one that can boost your DPS up by a lot, and this kind of depends on how you're balanced. So if you're doing a lot more shadow damage, you want to focus on shadow power. If you have better weapons, you want to focus on weapon mastery. It depends what you do. You're more AFK in the game, you just have really good weapons. Are you going ahead and grinding shadows a ton? As you basically only want to buff your highest one of these, there is no point going ahead and buffing some weapon mastery and some shadow power. You want to fully invest into one, and it's the one that does the most damage because of percentage. So it's the one that basically will give you the biggest jump. So usually shadow power, if you have them the same, is the best to go for, it's 5%. But if your weapons are less than 10 times stronger than your shadows, less than 10 times weaker than your shadows, you definitely want to go for weapons, because that weapon boost is quite nice. It is 0.5%, so not as high as the shadow boost, but honestly, it'll give you an extra turn, which can make it even easier to progress through the game. There's other things that you can get that will also allow your weapons to do a lot more damage, and they're enchants that I don't actually have. With Whirlpool's an example, using it land a critical hit, which will do even more damage. Don't know the exact number, but it's roughly about 2 times, if not plus. You can then go and get Whirlpool Aspect, which means you hit multiple times, so my one hit of normally doing 12.5 QI can go ahead and become 3 hits, 2 hits, and that'll double your damage effectively you are doing. Now, this is a chance, and it will not always happen, but if you compare that to just normal Whirlpool, you can get a ton of damage just off your weapon, and like I said, this weapon can become stronger. It isn't the best weapon in the game. Anyway, I think I've compared this video down to 8 minutes as easily as possible for you guys. I don't want to go too much over that, but thank you a ton for watching. Hopefully you found these tips useful, and you can go ahead and do a ton of damage. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, watch the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Also, I just posted on my main channel, so you can check that video out if you want as well. I'll probably on the right, and there'll be one on the left. I don't know which side they're on. You don't have to tell me.